teams. You are the individuals you need to convince, impress, sell to, etc., etc. And we are going to dive straight in, I believe.
Yeah, I think we're diving straight into it. And we are starting and continuing basically in the same order that we did the first pitches. So first is Team Danatara with the team lead Noor Arifin Akbar. So please make your way to the stage. And remember, the green watch is ticking, so look at it. Don't make me stop you.
That's 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's correct. So wait for the next. Okay. Move the slides, please. I'll take that. Okay, thank you. Kind of sleepy. Okay, good evening everyone. My name is Noor Arifin Akbar and we are trying to present our project for Democracy Hackathon. This is the best program we ever made within 2 hours. Okay, well, if you see in the slide, okay, many of people believe that Earth are flat. Earth flat is kind of this information that maybe it affect our life. Why? Because a lot of people believe that the Earth is flat, and many believe that and connected to the conspiracy theory and so on. That's why some studies in the MIT say that in 2018, fake news are spread faster than the real news. That's the fact, okay? What is matter now? Because the era of AI, we can make any content with AI. It's supposed to be, if you go into the OnlyFans, yeah, if you know that OnlyFans supposed to sell the fans, not the generated content. And also, traditional fast-checking methodology is not quite good. So that's why we build this kind of product that for expert, that means that, okay, because we see that the virality or the post is going to be viral within the first 48 hours. That means that for expert, we use leveraging AI with some human in the loop protocol to fight with this information. And how does it work, okay? We are leveraging all open source AI. For example, the search engine, we're leveraging 200 sources. And AI processing layer, we can use any kind of AI, including the closed one and the open source one. And also don't forget, we always put human as the human in the loop to operate our system. And also, we also align with this kind of human right because we never censor your data. We never do anything to your data, and we are not saving your sensitive information. Because why? In our protocol, we are using model context protocol that can be leveraged by Anthropic. That means that you can try this kind of services for expert you can use, okay? Play the video, please. Okay. So in the forest, especially it not just predict the disinformation, rather than why we are thinking about if there is some disinformation, okay? You collect the data and you leveraging with the AI, and then you predict how the viral this kind of post, how it is viral, and then what do you do? What do you do? Okay, this kind of information is likely a fake viral post. We will warn you. This kind of the fake information. Okay, you can have some discounted narration before the post is going to be viral. So between first 48 hours, it is the golden time to save the disinformation from the democracy. Okay? If you agree, okay, you can try this kind of in the hacking phase. You can download the source code, you can inspect the source, and everything is going to be open source. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you to Team Danatara, and we will now take max 2 questions. We have 2 minutes, well, 2.5 because they were fast. Okay, no we don't. I'm sorry. You only have 2 minutes for questions. Do any of the jury members have a question?
Okay, does this work? Oh, thank you very much. Maybe I missed it, but who is going to buy your solution?
Well, I represented it to, sorry. Well, I'm trying to sell this kind of product for a brand user, government, or anyone who needs if they want to keep their reputation for a business, and also government to vet this information, or anyone who wants to monitor their services based on the keyword or something.
You could buy it.
Oh. Yeah.
I could.
Yeah, you could. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Yes, I wanted to ask, you mentioned Anthropic, so that would be the machine you would be using to look at find the sources, which would be fact-checking. Is that how you see it? How would that work? Anthropic, to what sources to fact-check quickly the posts?
Well, actually, I'm leveraging the kind of set of art using line graph technology with the agentic-based technology. So it will be connected to the MCP, Molecular Context Protocol, and we're leveraging this kind of process. And then we make some prediction using AI. We are using LLM and try to all this kind of information. We predict using transformer it will going to be viral because we see that the spreading and the keyword is in the graph methodology. So we are monitoring the direction of the graph. I mean the spreading of the graph. If it is seem abnormal, we will warn you.
We have 20 more seconds. Any quick interventions? Yes.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the presentation. I was just wondering if you already had in your deliberations maybe some, I think it's very clear kind of you were targeting the tool towards and the solution towards, but if you see any obstacles or potential obstacles, maybe if you can name 3 that you've identified in your deliberations to developing and implementing the solution.
Well,
really quick answer because we are.
Well, the obstacle is the most likely to be the infrastructure, because you know that if you get a lot of data, it get a lot of power to process it.
Perfect. Thank you. Another round of applause.
Wonderful. Danatara, always tough starting off, but we are now on a roll. If we could invite Truster to the stage, please. One point of housekeeping for our technical team. Please do not tap the mics. It is hurting their ears. Other than that, we hand this to you. The floor is yours, Truster. All the best, 5 minutes.
Hi everyone, we are Team Truster from LI Analytics in Norway. The problem is the spread of online disinformation poses a serious threat to a democracy worldwide. It erodes trust in institutions, fuels societal divisions, and undermines civic discourses. With false information spreading approximately 70% faster than true facts, online readers today lack real-time trustworthy tools to verify what they encounter online. Truster is a solution. Truster is the answer to today's dangerous surge of online disinformation. It's smart, privacy-first browser extension built to empower everyday internet users. It shows credibility badges in search results, whether it's verified, non-verified, or pending. It detects and highlights fake information directly within the articles. It builds with CSP, safe, privacy-first, and scalable infrastructure, meaning it respects your privacy and stays performant. By providing live credibility signals as you read, Truster helps you to make informed decisions, promote critical thinking, and strengthen civic resilience. It doesn't label content and definitively factual or fake. Instead, it nudges you to pause, reflect, and fact-check any flagged information. And by raising the bar, it motivates publishers to verify their information before they publish. Now, how the Truster works, my colleague Shri will lead you. Thank you.
Hi. Truster is not any app where you can download it or use it. You don't need. It is just the extension to your browser, any browser, where it badges verified, non-verified resources, the news, the fake information. It's not playing. Okay. The video doesn't work, but I will explain you. So before Truster, you can see the news on the top of the screen, the climate change, without browser extension, Truster browser extension. And after Truster, when we deploy our Truster application into the browser and we install it as a Chrome extension, you can see that badges there, verified or unverified. If you scroll down, unfortunately, the video is not playing, sorry for that. So we can see that whether the information is fake or real, just by the badges. No apps, no hassle, just the browser extension. Oh. There is a clear video of how the Truster is going to work and everything, but unfortunately, the video is not playing. Yeah, give us a minute. No. It's not playing, sorry. But if you have any questions, but we can answer. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
In terms of AI, when you use your...
We use the natural language processing to our Truster application so that it processes and detects the fake news based on the 10LP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the question. Jury? Any more for any more?
Can I ask a stupid user question? How do I download the browser extension?
That is what, unfortunately, we have recorded everything in that video.
Yes, we have.
That is the Truster web application. When you scroll down, there is a call to action button, download the extension, where it downloads to your computer, and then you can install it in your browser. And then when you install it in your browser and deploy it to your browser, when you open the new search in your browser, it opens along with the Truster extension. That is how the Truster works.
Before you download, you have to accept the CSP and GDPR, but we are compliant on both. We are not saving, sharing, or using any of the data. Our algorithms are based on machine information, not people. Thank you.
There is another question?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for the presentation and for your work. I was wondering if you could maybe walk us through a bit the differentiation that was made in the morning as well between disinformation and harmful information versus maybe illegal content and all of these things. So I'm wondering if the extension makes a distinction between that as well, or just false or partially false or true information. So whether it also goes into the legal maybe element of it, or whether it's harmful.
Yeah, thank you. Right now, in the MVP phase, the first phase, we are only trespassing the human verification, and we are only language training our model so that it can detect the fake news based on this emotional language, reliable resources. If it is something like catchy headlines with, it doesn't match the story of the headline, and it looks like real, but it is not real. And unrepeated and shared information that is too much, which is generated by the machine. something like your antivirus, just like replace the antivirus with the Truster for the misinformation.
Wonderful. Thank you very much indeed. Team Truster, congratulations. Please return to your seats. Thank you.
Next up, if Radar could make their way to the stage, they get 5 minutes, 4 slides, and grilling from the jury.
Hello, everyone. I am Ariana, and I am here to introduce you LegiLens, that platform that makes trust measurable. In a world where fake news looks so real and truth is hard to spot, we make legitimacy back into focus. Let me take you to a personal moment where I realized this issue. Not long ago, while scrolling through social media, I came to a post. It was a post about the Moldovan and the Russian president talking about high political issues. I saw the video and the voices were perfect. The video looked so real, but I realized it was all fake. And in that moment, I opened my eyes, and I hope yours too. So, I realized the media space is so vulnerable. There is no transparent oversight. There are no credibility indicators. Users are left confused. Trust in media is collapsing. Misinformation spreads faster than the truth. And media platforms compete unfairly, with no accountability and no common rules. So, we came with our response, LegiLens. LegiLens is an all-in-one platform that brings together several key components, as content legitimacy detection, a dynamic legitimacy scoring system, AI-powered analysis, and dataset accuracy ensured by verified fact-checking networks, such as the European Digital Media Observatory and other independent sources. LegiLens is built on verified EU journalist standards. It was designed to prioritize transparency, fairness, and democratic values. And yes, it's fully GDPR compliant. But maybe you're wondering, why us? Because we bring everything together in one place. We're not just a tool, we are a solution. And we build dynamic source scoring. Each source, whether it's a blog, news site, or video channel, gets a score from 0 to 100. The system is adaptive, it learns. And it includes community feedback, making it both smart and democratic. So, the question, who is LegiLens for? LegiLens is for those who care about the truth. It's about public institutions that defend democracy, for independent journalists who fight daily to report facts, even though they have limited resources, for civic organizations and educators that teach people how to think, not what to think, and for everyday citizens, students, voters, readers, who are trying to make sense of a chaotic information world. We build LegiLens for them, for us, for all of them. And what do we hope to achieve? The impact we care about most is long-term and systematic. LegiLens enhances institutional accountability. It strengthens democratic resilience. It encourages civic engagement. And it helps restore public trust in the media. One headline, one article, one alert at a time. We believe LegiLens can become the new standard for content credibility, helping people, platforms, and institutions rebuild trust, piece by piece, in this new digital age. Let's make credibility visible again. And now, we invite you to show you how it works. Enjoy. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Radar. Thank you, Ariana. And now we open the floor for jury questions.
I'm interested in this idea that it's essentially, would you say, golden standard? So institutions, let's say media or an educational institution, would purchase it in order to prove that they are aligning with the standards as described. Am I getting it correctly?
Yes. Yes. The idea was that we offer two types. We have to B2C and B2B. For a customer, it's actually free because you just want to, as a daily use, to check if the information is real or not. But for organizations, you're going to have, like you've seen in that demo, the source graph and the bias and all these features, which helps you to actually see behind this and understand if actually this makes sense or not.
Sure. Thank you.
Yes?
Just a question. How do you make sure that it is transparent to verify the quality of the work that the tool is doing?
Okay.
Transparency and quality.
Yeah. Well, we took in the first try a database of 5,000 trusted sources around the globe. I know it's very little, but after some training, we switched actually to the Llama model to actually help us trying to improve our model. And also we discovered in the last month about the European Union datasets, which are public, some of them, and we implemented the two datasets which are free to have that trustness. Because there are some sources which are 100% true, or okay, 98. Any other question?
No. We have 3 more seconds, so I'm guessing that's a no for questions.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Well done, Radar. Without further ado, Echo Breaker, let's see what you've got.
To hold here, no? There was something to hold this down here.
Yeah, it broke.
Okay, then we adapt to it, no problem. Hello everyone, my name is Lado Bitsadze and I'm here to represent Echo Breaker. We're from Georgia and our country is facing severe political challenges. I'm sure many of you are aware of it. Me and my friends read concerning news on a daily basis almost in the social media, and our reaction is usually quite vocal. But I can't say the same about many of my fellow citizens. So at some point, me and my friends got kind of frustrated. We were caring about this. Why were not others? And we thought that we see this happening, we care for it. Where are other people? And then it hit us. Maybe they're not ignoring. Maybe simply they just did not see it. Maybe their algorithms, their feed is so clustered around one certain topic that the news never even reached them. So at that point, we turn mirror back on us. Maybe we were the ones who were victim of being inside the curated information bubble. So maybe we were also the ones who were presented only one side of the news. And that single moment of doubt is what gave a birth to Echo Breaker, a platform built for shattering digital echo chambers and bring people face to face to what they're not seeing. Because in the democracy, what you don't see can be just as dangerous as what you see. Echo Breaker is for multiple usage, starting with everyday citizens just to simply do the self-audit or broaden your horizon, continuing with the fact-checkers and the journalists. With an iteration of our tool, they will be able to track and do the simple bias check of influencer campaigns and the political campaigns. And of course, the educators, because educators will be able to implement the Echo Breaker within their media literacy lessons. Many of you might ask, why Echo Breaker? Well, first of all, why do we have this problem now in Georgia? Because there are simply no similar tools on the market that can solve this. Also, Echo Breaker is not creating any new large language model to process the data. Now we're using currently existing models and bringing them within one tool. Also, EchoBreaker makes sure that no private data is stored on any server. Our API connection to Twitter and Reddit makes sure that every single time a person wants to search and skim through their newsfeed, the API calls for brand new requests to pull the data. So no data is stored anywhere. And also, we see EchoBreaker as modular platform to be able to locate and then adapt to any reality. I'm pretty sure many of my fellow Europeans here in the room are either facing or potentially could face similar issues of what Georgians are facing right now. So we make sure that open source tool, EchoBreaker, will be possible for everyone to adapt to their local realities. Now, about the tool itself. As you can see, it's a very simple user experience. You land on the homepage, and the only button you see is to connect your X or /Twitter account to the platform. And a little bit in the About section, you read in detail about our methodology. How does the analysis of the data happens, and how does the clustering of the topic happens? And in the settings sections, you can set your preferences, which accounts have you connected to the data processing. But most importantly, about the dashboard. In the top section, you can see your ideological skew, you can see your diversity score, the topics that you're exposed to on a daily basis to your Twitter account or a Reddit account, and of course, your eco score. How prone are you to be clustered into just one eco without seeing another side of the truth? On the bottom left side of the image, you see the bubble chart, interactive bubble chart. By hovering over on those topics, you can actually see the name of the topic that you're exposed to and from which political identity was this news written that you read. Was it from the left perspective or a center, or it could be the center right? On the bottom right side, you see the list of the topics that you are consuming on a daily basis. At the bottom of the dashboard, you can see the alternative media sources. So let's say your economical news that you're reading, out of the analysis, you see that you are reading it from the left perspective. Here, we have implemented the tool that gives you the very same news, but alternative of it from center and from the right perspective, just to make sure that you are getting all sides of the story. The best part, the tool is actually live, the demo version, so ecobreaker.me, go on and check. With EchoBreaker, we're giving you a mirror to look inside and decide, are you ready to burst your bubble? Thank you.
EchoBreaker, you had 3 seconds left.
Oh, wow. 3 seconds more for the questions.
We open to our jury members for questions.
Thanks a lot for the presentation. So I was wondering, two questions first of all. The first one is if this will be open source and actually open to the public. And the second one is in terms of the platform that you actually survey, if you want to, or if the plan would be to also move away just from Twitter and X, which many people of course are not using, and to other social media platforms as well. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the questions. Starting first with an open source part. Exactly, since the idea is that us Georgians, what we face, that challenge and that struggle, I would say, has kind of made us experts in this. So we want to make sure that our European peers, if the time comes, and when the time comes, they will have our expert opinion already, the tool that is already created. So we think that this needs to be an open source, and this needs to be adaptable for any local reality that will be needed. And the second part of the question was about adding the additional networks. Absolutely, the plan is actually to add as many potential social networks through connecting the APIs as possible. That is down on the roadmap.
Wonderful. Yes, Alain.
Limitation of the usage of your solution. So I mean, if I connect with my Twitter account and I want to check, I don't know, 500 messages, there's a limitation or not?
No. So technically, so the messages will not be checked. It will check your news feed. The limitation will only rely on your browser, because since we're not processing data on any server, data processing can happen on the device based within the browser. So your limitation is technically the browser or the device that you're using. Other than that, no limitations set from our side to the platform as much as it's possible. Yes.
Yes, Maya, please.
What about comments? under posts on our news feeds?
As long as it is including the source, the URL, that's what makes it possible to track and understand through the analysis of it. Then it will be possible, even if it's mentioned in the comments.
Define what is left and right depending on the context.
Thank you very much. So there is already existing open source model that is trained through the several data sets collected and gathered by the political scientists and the scholars within the field. It has 52 different criteria that it takes into consideration when it is marking whether if it's left, whether if it's center or right, or even in between. Could be center left or center right. Yes.
How long does it take to rate?
Again, depending on the speed of your browser and speed of your network, usually it should take up to 1 minute, because every time you will want to analyze it, it's going to call API from the fresh start, because we don't want to store anything. So it will have to gather all this data every single time. But if you have a fast internet, trust me, it's going to be fast.
All right. Trust Echo Breaker.
Thank you very much.
Oh, there's one. Sorry, there's one more. She's twisting my arm. Sabine, please.
Allowed to be a little bit provocative. I was reading on your slide what you are missing. That reminds me a little bit advertisement when you open your website and you have on the left and the right-hand side all the ads, you should buy this and that one. Who is deciding? How do you make sure that what I am missing really fits to my values? It's just because it's AI? You have something special?
Absolutely. We do not take position to tell you what you are missing specifically is important for you, although what we believe in is that every citizen needs to have information from every sources. What we're giving you is an agency. We're giving you all the different sources, so you decide, after knowing all different sources, what is right for you. Thank you.
Echo Breaker, bravo. Jury members, thank you for your questions.
Fascinating stuff. And now for some more fascinating stuff, please welcome Gecko to the stage. Gecko, the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. We are Team Gecko, and we are here to present to you Keep It Real. AI generative tools are rapidly advancing, as we all know. Models like OpenAI Sora, Google Veo, and Runway produce increasingly realistic videos, making them more accessible and thus susceptible to malicious use. Here we can see two examples of AI-generated videos. On the left side, it is easy to recognize that this is AI-generated based on the fruits. But the second video, it's really realistic. It's about fake protests in Bosnia, I think. And it is really hard to visually distinguish that this is AI-generated. So AI-generated videos, as we see, pose challenges for people across all age groups. Studies have shown that 30% of individuals aged between 55 and 64 don't know what deepfake is, indicating that older generations struggle more to distinguish real from fake content. Despite being more frequently exposed to AI-generated content, younger generations also face difficulties in detecting synthetic patterns. This problem is especially evident in politics, where deepfakes can manipulate public perception and undermine elections. In a recent report, between July 2023 and 2024, analysts identified political deepfakes across 38 countries, with 30 of them either holding or planning elections during that time. Of all deepfakes, 25.6 deepfakes are aimed to mislead audiences with false statements or endorsements. Other motivations include defamation, eroding public trust, and sabotaging democratic processes. Such content undermines integrity of elections and causes confusion. That's where we step in and introduce Keep It Real, our solution. It's a simple and intuitive and accessible tool that lets users check whether or not a video is AI generated. You just paste a link from YouTube or social media, and Keep It Real will analyze that clip. And with the use of integrated existing models, several models, it determines and detects deepfake or synthetic pattern. It looks for subtle signals, such as things like unnatural blinking or lighting inconsistencies or facial distortions, and then outputs the result, which is probability or likability of video being AI generated, with the exclamation point on education purpose, putting the focus on education and user experience. We make Keep It Real stand out amongst the similar tools. The education aspect is especially important because it provides users with knowledge to better judge and any future videos that come by. One of its strongest assets is also inclusivity. Applications design is tailored towards users who are not that tech savvy, because it is important to us to also include elderly. It will be open source, free of charge, free to use, providing complete transparency and access without collecting or storing any user-sensitive data. To reach wide audiences, we will use multi-channel strategy, social media for younger users, workshops and printed materials through official institutions for older generations. Our clear, simple interface makes Keep It Real accessible to everyone. And with Keep It Real, we are not just detecting deepfakes, we are defending truth, education, and digital resilience. Here is our timeline for, or plan for future of this project, with extensive research and testing and finding partners to participate in this project. We would plan to launch the project or application by 2026, and that's it. Thank you so much.
Spot on time, impressive. Jury, yes, please.
Thank you so much for your work. I have to say I was recently, unfortunately, fooled by one of those videos at a first glance. So I very much relate to the issue. What I'm wondering is, I think it's a pretty high threshold for user accessibility when it comes to, leaving, for example, if I'm on TikTok and I see one of these videos, leaving the app, then going to my browser, then entering the link, then copying the link, then pasting the link. So I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts or ideas on how you can minimize that gap between the user and the app where they consume the potentially fake media and the platform, the Keep It Real.
Yes, definitely. That is the thing to consider. It is a bit of pain, but we make up for it with other positives, such as free of charge and ease of usage for that.
Also, if I may add, it also provides the independent source, so not being a part of social media or just one company. It is independent and free to use for everybody, so people will be more inclined to use that and know that there's no agenda behind it or something like that.
But what you're suggesting is that you might become victim of your own success, because you say a large part of it is educating young people or all generations to recognize deep fakes, meaning minimizing the need for your application in the long term. That's one thing. And the second thing, wouldn't you want to be commercially successful in a way for your services to be used by social media and to say, you know, you can use this tool or integrate a tool or a link for a tool where you can recognize these things, or you prefer full independence and not to be aligned with the potential agendas of various social media?
I mean, at this day and age, this altruistic solution is maybe strange, but our main focus is building a tool for people and something that can help. Our main plan is basically to work with official institutions that would provide the support needed and not to be actually motivated by the profits.
I have a more ontological question. I mean, you propose to use AI to recognize AI-generated content, but how can AI recognize AI? For AI is just normal life.
Well, basically, there are some very well-trained models that are trained on more than 1 million of videos that are very good at detecting AI-generated videos. So we are not trying to put a taboo on AI-generated stuff, but we are trying to use the AI to fight back the malicious use of AI. Since it is a very powerful tool, we shouldn't ignore it, and we should use it as best as we can.
Alien versus predator scenario.
And with that, we conclude with the gecko grilling. Thank you.
Well done. And for their 5 minutes, we invite to the lectern France and Portugal for the win. The jury will decide. Your 5 minutes. Good luck.
Democracy is under attack. Thousands of bot accounts are already pushing fake news and amplifying narratives. Real people are already being influenced by bots. For example, people in Germany didn't go vote, thousands of people didn't go vote because a post was warning them about a terrorist attack happening in one of the centers. There is clearly a lack of clarity on how the data is spread on these hot topics, and we believe that European citizens deserve more transparency. That is why we want to introduce Network Radar. Network Radar is the first platform that will help us. Network Radar is fundamentally different from what you might expect, because Network Radar doesn't use the content of the posts that we see on platforms. It uses the data about the accounts that are posting them. Instead of analyzing the content, we analyze the followings, the followers, the likes, the retweets. We want really to map a graph of the relationship between people and draw our conclusions from that. We do not judge the content, we want to score the accounts from 1 to 10. 1 if we are sure if it's a human, and 10 if it looks like a bot. The goal is that we can tell you what is spreading suspiciously, because what's spreading suspiciously is probably fake news and misinformation campaigns by bots. Our mission is to shift from a world where we find that an attack has happened after the damage to a world where we can see that an attack is happening in real time, so we can prevent the damage. But let's dive a bit more into how it works. Network Radar bases itself on the latest research. We want to use what's best, and right now it's machine learning models that take the data of the account, the followers, the followings, and a history of their relations. We train the models with lots of data, and it was shown in these studies that we arrive at 90% accuracies in detecting these bots, like separating the bots from the real accounts, 90%. With Network Radar, we want to empower the critical thinking of European citizens. We don't want to tell them what's true and what's false. We just want to show you what spreads suspiciously. With Network Radar, we want to boost reliable information access by providing a source for journalists to base their articles on. With Network Radar, we want to expose the malicious infrastructure and help government agencies detect them more efficiently. But for now, we are limited. We are limited to the public datasets before ChatGPT. We are limited to the computing power necessary to take all the posts of Twitter in real time, millions of posts every day. We spoke to researchers, the top researchers of Portugal and Spain, and it's clear. We have the good models, but what is lacking is the infrastructure. The good models are here. European funded them. The EU funded them. 2 million euros for this research by the Mediterranean Digital Media Observatory and many other projects that are among the top projects in the world. So we have the models. What we need now is the data. The data in real time, millions of posts from Twitter, Reddit, Telegram, all the social media. To do that, we count on utilizing the Digital Services Act. By partnering with a research institute, this act allows us and forces the social media to give access to the data. The last thing we need is the computing power. And because we will need to analyze, as I told you, 1 million tweets every day, as well as other posts from other platforms. For that, we need computing powers that will, and data centers from the European Union. We count on implementing this project with a pilot phase of 3 to 6 months, and then expand it to the other countries, and hopefully join StartCom. To conclude briefly, we are all from Strasbourg. We all met in Strasbourg during our studies, and democracy really matters to us. We already have the talent in Europe, the tech, and yeah, I just want you guys to give us the Council's backing to make this collaboration happen. And we will ensure that our democracy have the tools to be resilient to any bot army.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Fantastic. Open to the jury members for questions. Please.
Yes, so I understand that there are some technical difficulties, but let's say you can get access to all this data, which maybe needs some legal action. Let's say you also can have the computing power for the data centers or for the whatever is needed for the machine be able to process all this data. I wanted to ask, is there a technical way that you can analyze what is a bot and what is not a bot? What is the actual original and what is from an original account and what is not a bot? Is that technically possible?
Well, we didn't want to go into details about the technical side. We didn't try to go a lot into details in the technical side. However, we've based our solution on a research paper, which was published 2024, and in which models are able, there is a neural network model, and it is able to have into input the information accounts just mentioned, as mentioned by Dorian. And based on those inputs, we give a credit score based on all the relations between the other accounts. Added to that, we added a plus value, which is not only this, but also we try to find new topics that are in the data that we have. And then we do clustering, so classification, non-supervised classification on all those accounts, and see if in the clusters there are some verified accounts or not. So if there aren't, we say that it's a high score that it is an attack. Also, you should know that 90%, exactly 89.9% F1 score models, which were described in the research paper. We just didn't want to go into details. That's why we did it.
Thank you, France and Portugal, for the win. We are there. Thank you very much. All the best.
Next, we will welcome to the stage Meta NGO and their EduResist platform. The stage is yours.
Hello, dear judges. Hello, dear audience. We are the EduResist team. I'm Livia, teacher from Moldova, and today we are tackling an issue hiding in plain sight, and this is disinformation in classroom. While talking about the issue, we identified a couple of problems, and we thought about the main problems related to this issue, which are disinformation, both among teachers and students, which undermines trust in facts, and the second one would be lack of digital literacy tools in schools. Both of them being interdependent, we thought about some side effects which they might have, such as impaired critical thinking, unprepared graduates, weakened discourse, and educator challenges.
Okay, so our platform comes with some solutions at hand, gathered under 4 sections. Okay, so the first one is intended mainly at teachers. So, and they can find here ready-made lesson plans and professional development resources. So the second section will contain interactive lessons explaining social media content filtering. And the next one, okay, so is called Fact Check Assistant, and it will contain, so we plan to post some chat bots, okay, so that will verify, okay, so the works of students, if they are AI generated, and some facts that teachers are going to use in class, so maybe to, students during discussions. And last but not least, is a disinformed sim that will contain some interactive activities to be used in class as well. Okay, namely games that will include simulations, role plays, quizzes, and we have even, if you can move, so we made a rough sketch of our platform, and that is easy. Okay, so we have to work on it. Yeah, still some work.
Besides the technical part, of course, our platform will influence the attitudes and the responsibility of the new generation. We think that through the platform, through participation at this project, we will help to grow responsible citizens that will have the online behavior. Students will be attentive of their attention span, will be responsible for their emotional influence toward the information that they are reading. They will be resilient digital citizens. They will, we hope that the platform will help the teachers, especially will lift the burden that stands on their shoulders while they are preparing the new information for the classes, and will bring the information that will be together created with the students. And of course, if we are speaking about the society, we think that the platform will help to support a culture of openness, a culture of pluralism, and a culture of accountability.
We hope that this will be a very impactful and sustainable project that will help not only a small number of people, but with a larger number of people. We, at the first stage, of course, don't want to be too ambitious. We plan to have, in 1 year, just 300 teachers trained, who will subsequently influence another hundreds of thousands of students with their knowledge and with everything that they want to impact on. And of course, we would be in line with all the ethics and human rights alignment with EU policies that we would advise everybody to follow.
So let's face it, today students are drowning in disinformation. As a student, I see fake news spread faster than homework excuses. But most schools are handing us life jackets made of paper. Edu-resistant fixes this. We address the critical gap in digital literacy because right now TikTok algorithms teach kids more than textbooks do. Our solution is sustainable by design, open source, built by teachers and aligned with EU digital education goals. No expensive licenses, no corporate agendas, just tools that work. But here's the catch. Disinformation evolves faster than defenses. Every month we delay another classroom, falls behind. We're ready to act. With pilot finding, we'll scale across Europe. But we need allies. So join the coalition. Let's turn digital resilience from a privilege into a right. Thank you.
Thank you, Meta NGO. Questions from the jury?
If I understand correctly, so you have a platform and you have 4 topics, okay? For each topics, you have, I don't know, a solution behind it, a technical solution, or is the same technical solution for the 4 topics?
We are an NGO of teachers, which was established like a long time ago, for already 12 years. So we have the experience of developing and implementing. Luckily, we do have some people in IT who are also English teachers, and they do match this. So we have the whole support that we can use.
Okay.
And what is your plan? How do you plan to engage teachers and students? Besides that you think that this is something interesting for them, do you have some plan of gamification or some credentials for teachers or some special perks or I don't know what?
In our experience, we have had this, developed this idea of organizing different events, joint events for both teachers and students, like international conferences, for example, where students can come and also, as well as teachers, express their ideas and whatever they want to share about the educational system and whatever is happening in the educational system. So this is like a coalition that they can bring together like a good, let's say, product that will be used by a large audience. So this is a collaborative work.
And I think that wraps it up for the jury questioning session. Thank you, Meta NGO.
Wonderful. And we move swiftly, inexorably to Sunflower. Team Sunflower. Thank you, yes. Little ripple. Team Sunflower, best of luck. 5 minutes. The floor is yours.
Wonderful. Good.
Hello, everyone. No one today would argue that open data no one would argue that open data is not a truly generational resource, one which has remarkable potential to safeguard democracy. In theory, anyone with an internet connection can access open data. However, this potential is shackled by barriers such as poor digital literacy. In 2023, a report found that 32% of Europeans still lack basic digital skills. These 32% are effectively locked out of accessing any open data whatsoever. Furthermore, open data websites are notoriously difficult to navigate. The QR code behind me leads to data.europa.eu, the official portal of European data, which holds a staggering 1.9 million data sets. If anyone would like a challenge, I invite you to scan the QR code and try and find statistical information about pollution in Strasbourg. I promise that the data sets exist on the data portal, but good luck in finding them. European Data themselves conducted a survey in 2017 in which they found that 73% of their own community, regular users of open data, found it difficult to find the data that they needed. To quote from the opening remarks this morning, more content does not always lead to more clarity. So imagine how one would use open data in everyday life. Visualize 2 friends sat in a restaurant, Giovanni and Simone. Simone is arguing that the stabbing that happened in town last week was because of too much immigration, although the ethnicity of the subject is not yet clear. Giovanni wants to disprove him by showing that most stabbings are not conducted by immigrants. However, he knows that Simone distrusts the news, and Giovanni cannot access verifiable government data quickly and easily to stop Simone's misconception and speculation.
And this is where Sunflower steps in. A bold, new app which reshapes raw open data into powerful, accessible insight. But Sunflower is about more than just access. It brings research-driven context that helps users see the bigger picture instead of getting lost in commonly polarizing details. Sunflower is reliable, powered by data straight from trusted institutions. Sunflower is social, with built-in community features like popularity counters and event engagement. Sunflower is simple and quick, delivering key insights in under 3 taps without the need for accounts or passwords.
So, when it comes to development, as you saw, we currently have a fully coded app which is linked to 6 Eurostat datasets designed based on 4 qualitative interviews that we conducted with students in Barcelona. The next technical step is linking open datasets from national and international sources and adding corollary statistics to enrich the dataset and help others understand the context behind the data, something that currently doesn't exist on other open data platforms. After this, we will start user testing, where members of our target demographic from across Europe will test additional features like news alerts and different filter options. Over the next 5 years, we plan to scale Sunflower using the unified data interface present in both international sources like Eurostat and national systems like ISTAT, bringing Sunflower from manually defined corollary statistics to a quasi-automated system presenting data within its societal context.
So why should Giovanni actually use a Sunflower? Because we add the enhanced data visualization to already existing open data, thereby providing deeper insights and a more accessible understanding of complex databases. What truly differentiates our project is that our app is designed for everyone, like Giovanni, that wants to actually understand a specific topic, no need with a specialized academic background. Furthermore, our app format is itself provide a significant advance to our competitors, and let's be frank, people are lazy. No more than 3 clicks in order to understand the data. And also, this is a well-known web design rule, which suggests that user will abandon navigation if it requires more than 3 clicks. With our app, relevant information is accessible immediately. Moreover, we adhere to the web content accessibility guidelines to ensure that our user experience is as inclusive as possible, incorporating features such as Zoom functionality and text-to-speech options.
Our deepest fear in today's digital age is constantly giving away our personal information, Gmail accounts, identification, passwords. It is the fear of our personal data becoming a tool without our consent. Well, Sunflower doesn't need any of your personal information. Our project is deeply rooted to the Council of Europe Convention and the principle of data minimization, protecting user integrity and freedom of expression. Sunflower is an instrument to remove the blindfold, ensuring truth can and will prevail for all Europeans. Thank you.
All right, we got that. Bravo, bravo, well done. We open the floor to jury members for questions, please.
Great. Thanks a lot for the presentation. I have 3 questions. The first one, maybe you didn't hear it, is if this will be open source and accessible widely. The second question is, I saw that right now you can reference specific questions or specific information that are tied to data sets. Are you planning, when you will also expand the number of data sets that you use, to have a kind of like question, like to be able to ask questions? Like, I'm trying to understand why I would go to your app rather than ChatGPT, maybe, that can give a very easy and direct answer on a variety of topics. And if so, yeah, if that's in your timeline or planning. Thanks.
First of all, open source. If you talk about the open source, about the way in which we can extract data and then use them, yes. Open source in the application itself, it would be meaningless, because if I put the open source application, each and everyone can copy paste it and then go. But the main takeaway of the app, so like bringing data from Eurostat or ISTAT and then structuring them and put it in the app, that's it, of course. For the other part, which was like why we should go here and not on ChatGPT, I can make you an example. Yeah, we have time. if you're searching for unemployment and you find something that says unemployment is decreased, yeah, thanks. That's maybe useful for you or not. Our app is going to say you not only this unemployment stuff, but also maybe the inactivity. So the research-driven questions are here, and these are the main takeaways of our app. So there's not just the things that you are searching for, but the things that gives you a bigger picture of what you are looking for. And so that's why you should come to us, not to ChatGPT.
But it's also for policymakers, right? It will be very useful for me as a policymaker, perhaps. That's what my secretary does day in, day out, extracting statistics for my own personal use. So do you think it could also serve for governmental institutions to extract statistics?
So, of course, it was actually one of the main bottlenecks of this project, because the main thing, we use API requests for SDMX requests, because they are all the same with Eurostat, ISTA, and a lot of national statistical systems. But the main thing was this research-based setup. So the first thing that we want to do is like manually go into the data and see labor market data. We should go to inactivity and labor market or pollution with something else. But then after years, as my colleague said, like 5 or 6 years or 2, we have enough data of our work and the literature to just do this automatically. But of course, it could be used everywhere, even in policymakers, given that these things should and are going to be done from researchers. So, yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Wonderful stuff, Sunflower. Bravo, bravo.
And the fact-checking foxes are already on their way to the floor. Brilliant. Have 5 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you all had an exciting day today. To get started, I am going to embody the spirit of democracy and request you all to participate in this pitch with me, every one of you. So show of hands, who here has spent 3 or more hours on social media yesterday? Oh, that's not a lot. No. Well, now imagine adolescents aged 10 and up. They actually spend on average 3 hours or more, or even have a dependency on social media, digesting information that they don't know whether it is reliable or not. They don't know, and sometimes we don't know, and that's why Factually. To recap, Factually is an educational tool aiming to improve the critical thinking capabilities of adolescents and enliven the values of democracy within the youth. As stated, the targeted group, adolescents, Factually draws from these 4 decision-making processes that are amplified during adolescence and aims to develop critical thinking capabilities in the youth. On that note, we aim to pre-bunk, not debunk. Pre-bunking is a preventive measure that is scientifically proven, by the way. It enables adolescents to debunk information on their own through exposing them to false claims in a controlled environment and thereby training their ability to identify it. As the Secretary General said just this morning, if not finding information, it is knowing what to believe. Factually has at its roots the concept of demand and supply. Demand of institutions like the Council of Europe to promote democracy and prevent disinformation, of educators to ensure media literacy, and the desire of students to learn. We Factually facilitate the supply of this demand by connecting existing education facilities who will use the app in their classrooms and fact-checking infrastructures that verify these claims. About the fact-checkers, we aim to cooperate with the European Digital Media Observatory, or EDMO, which gathers data that we can trust. This ensures feasibility because the data already exists and they already have debunked claims. On this note, Factually does not use AI. Okay, so we find AI to be unreliable in verifying claims. AI verifies based on available data, but available data needs to be verified. With European fact checkers, the sources of the sources are also verified. Fact checkers know context, whereas AI rarely does. Nonetheless, we're not ruling out the future employment of AI tools when they are reliable and secure. Factually embodies Article 1 of the ECHR, Article 1 of the ECHR and Article 2 of the TEU. Factually also does not collect any personal data per Convention 108. And factually, through fact checkers, only uses publicly available data per the GDPR. Factually does not store data, except the anonymous responses of users for future research purposes. Here you can see the layout of the app and how it works. This is the mobile version, and in classrooms, it can also connect to computers used by the educator that would guide the experience. There is no subscription for the app, and when you open it, you first see claims such as these on the first image, and you have to judge whether it is true or false, and you can also get hints as seen in the second image. And once you have made your decision, a cute little fox will appear to debunk or confirm the claim. On the screen, you can see the process of how Factually will be developed. First, we will be interviewing potential users and stakeholders to ensure a good user experience. Factually does not have a reward or point system, since we aim to avoid developing any dependency. It will remain engaging nonetheless, as it will be made into a social experience within a classroom. We will obviously be employing existing data of known fakes, and we will have the app in English in the beginning. From here, we see Factually developing to also include features such as theme-specific collection of claims. Democracy is a passion. We are all here today working towards this passion. We can seek, we can speak, we can protest, and we can support because of democracy. Let us all work towards this passion, a more democratic and informed society with Factually, with transparency, security, and feasibility for both users and stakeholders. Factually, also fun.
Thank you. I'm not sure if we give bonus points for sound effects and outfit changes, but the jury might want to consider that. Okay, questions from the jury.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. I have two questions. The first one is, are you sure that the database will keep up with the demand of the user, so that there are enough essentially debunked claims to keep the app, that you can't have this endless kind of loop that we sometimes demand as social media users? And the second question is, why foxes?
They're sneaky.
Alliterations. Would you like to?
Yes. So yes, the database will keep up because there is a existing network of fact checkers that is constantly fact checking data across European countries, and this is happening every day. So they are fact checking, or we are fact checking data that comes from social media, so it's up to date to the news, and it relates to every country, because of course every country has its cluster of misinformation and disinformation. Yes.
Yes.
How will you make teachers use the tool?
We're going to obviously have to do a promoting round where we say that this is the essentially what we're trying to promote, media literacy, because all students essentially spend a lot of time, as I've stated in the beginning, on social media and even have a dependency. So school can be used as a ground for battling this so-called dependency and excessive use of social media. We're not going to tell them, we're going to give them the tools as to how to use it appropriately.
And we assume that the demand is there. As a previous group has also presented, educators are very much in demand for this tool. And actually, there was also a study that we didn't include, but a US study found that actually over 90% of students in US high schools would also want classes on media literacy. So that's kind of where the demand and supply side comes in. We assume that it's demand on many, it's very in demand, but there's not really a very straightforward tool to address it yet.
In this study, 57% of students said media literacy should be mandatory.
So you will try to integrate it within the school's curriculum where possible.
Education apps like this have also already been integrated in, for instance, Germany.
Thank you. You answered my question. Thank you.
Thank you, fact-checking foxes.
Thank you, thank you. Disexposia, the time is now. Come forth. Good luck, your 5 minutes.
Greetings, everyone. We are Disposia team, and we are a team formed from Albania and Bosnia and Herzegovina. So we all live in a world overflowing with information, but not all of that is created equal. There's a fundamental problem that can no longer ignore. We cannot ignore anymore. On the internet today, lies are spreading much faster than the truth. And this isn't happening by accident. Fake news is often designed to be sentimental. It's engineered to grab our attention and provoke a reaction. The result is a measurable advantage from falsehoods. A landmark study from MIT, published in Science, found that on social media, a lie is 70% more likely to be shared than a piece of factual news. And the creates of constant cycle of digital noises are confusion and all that we have to navigate every day. And this online confusion has serious real-world consequences. It endorses the most important pillar of healthy society, that is trust. We begin to lose the trust in everything, our media, our institutions, and even in each other. A recent EU report confirms that isn't just a social issue, but it's a growing threat to our democracy process. When we can't agree on basic facts, our communities become divided, putting our shared democratic values at risk. So this is a challenge that we face, and how we want to fight back, of course, not with censorship, but with clarity, and Jacek will show how.
Thank you, Maria. Well, to find the best solution, we asked about 120 people what would be the best way for them to help them recognize disinformation. And their answers were almost the same. They all want a tool that can help them find disinformation, and they don't want to be controlled, and not to be told what to do. And that's why we developed TruthTag. Our solution is built on a simple principle to make it simple, fun, and educational. We're not telling people what to do, we're just giving them the tool they wanted, so they can make better decisions, and that will help them in their life. We design our features to address the specific feelings your users have online. For those who feeling overwhelmed by online noises, our tool instantly scans text, photos, or just the links, and in seconds gives the result by saying that if it's true, it's false, or it's old news. But we also address to a deeper issue. For users who feel unsure and want to learn how to spot the fake news, we have created a special section in our app that is Learned by PlayHub. It's a place where people can go and learn by playing games and learn through videos. And this will help them force their skills and make them more confident. And now Baron will explain how we're planning to bring this up in live.
So, our plan is ambitious, yet achievable. And I'm going to break that down for you into key phases. So, in the first 3 months, our focus is to build and test. We will partner with trusted fact checkers, build the core app, and launch a closed beta to collect feedback and improve. By month 7, we will launch and engage. We'll release the public app on mobiles and web. start working with schools, drive users' growth, and release our browser's extension. Looking ahead, we will measure our success and plan for ambitious goals like our VR arena. Our entire plan is guided by an ethical commitment to a privacy by design approach, ensuring anonymity for the user. Our big goal is to empower people to see through the noise. Our ultimate vision is an internet where finding the truth is simple, allowing for healthier, more constructive conversation to take place. So we invite you to join us in creating clarity in this age of noise. Thank you.
Well done. Well done, well done. Fabulous. Jury members, I defer to you for questions. Yes, please, Sabine.
Thank you. Thank you very much. A quick one question I could ask to all the groups. In fact, where does the idea come from? Where did you have a sparkling moment where you thought that we should develop something like this?
This idea first was a project that I applied to European Youth Foundation, and after that, we liked to elevate it more. We had the help of our teacher at university, and that's how we came with this plan. And of course, we asked the people, as we said, approximately 120 people, and that's how we came with this idea. Thank you.
You mentioned how it will scan and text photos and links and so on. Again, what are the databases you will be using to check that they are false or not? And what are the technical problems you are facing?
So what the database
operating system you will be using?
So we like to create an AI that will be trained with database from EU, the database, and from national database from each country. And that's how we want to do it. The technical issue is we need to learn more about the AI than to create it. That's the only thing that is our issue for the moment.
Okay. Jury members, we have 30 seconds, or we can give it back. The jury are giving it back. Okay. Well done, Disexposia. Pardon me. Fantastic stuff.
And now give it up for the final team. Democracy Defender is coming to make their final pitch.
And now something completely and revolutionary different. Good evening, everybody. We're here to introduce you to a Democracy Defender, which is an AI-powered, human-guided platform for institutional integrity. And even more importantly, we're here to talk about how democracies weaken silently and what we can do before it all goes wrong. Abuse of power rarely announces itself. And it often hides behind procedure, legal gray zones, blurred mandates. According to Freedom House, VDEM, an idea, over 100 countries face democratic backsliding. And at least 10 Council of Europe countries show clear signs of the executive overreach. And this isn't just a problem of fragile democracies, it affects all the system. Sometimes as an intent, sometimes as an erosion, and sometimes even as a simple error. So the tools we have today, from journalism to oversight committees, are too slow, they're too fragmented, and most of the time it's too late. So our answer to this is a Democracy Defender, a platform that uses artificial intelligence, fully controlled by humans, and it can detect and cite potential abuse of power and institutional overreach. So it can process thousands of requests per minute, it engages citizens in oversights, it delivers structured, contextualized input to the civil society and legal experts, and also deeper verification and action. It's built to scale across different systems and from major democracies where it helps prevent institutional lift to fragile ones where it supports corrective mechanisms. It doesn't replace institutions, it strengthens those who defend them. Yes, we know it's bold, we know it's sensitive, so this is why we adapted and improved our solution thanks to the precious feedback from the mentors we got today. And we adapted the solution not only structurally, but meaningfully, and not just rhetorically and conceptually. First, there will be no public and media broadcasting. It's going to be more human control. And third, and most importantly, we're going to introduce rigorous validation and testing, and each model is going to be tested on 200 to 500 real cases and local team of legal experts for one political system at a time, adaptable to the local jurisdiction and local set of laws. There is no one-size-fits-all. So our threshold is clear here, and no model is deployed before we reach 95% of the accuracy, verified contextual accuracy. How it all works? First step, a user submits a public source, can be a legal act, statement, article. Then AI analyzes in the second step and flags potential abuse. And in the third, user may pause, contest, or request expert review if needed. Then, only if validated, the user may share it with the trusted actors, watchdog organizations, oversight institutions, or the individuals involved in this process. And clearly, yes, maybe, no are signals, not verdict or accusation. So with the Democracy Defender, we create impact, earlier detection of the democratic risk, better informed civic actions, and institutional strengthening, not the replacement, again. And it's feasible, built on NLP models, it's legally aligned, fully aligned with GDPR, Convention 108+, AI framework, Venice Convention checklist, and it's completely scalable, meaning that we can locally train on the unique set of laws one by one. Let's be clear, this is not a monitoring tool. This is not a mass media platform. This is not a public wall of shame for politicians. It's an alert system. It's a support structure. It's a legal contextual feedback loop under complete human control. Tool for awareness, tool for prevention, and it's not about democracy being attacked by lies. Sometimes it collapses in complete silence. We've been building this for the last 3 months, and this experience being with you today and getting all the feedback pushed us to the level that we couldn't imagine. We will continue in this matter. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. Merci, hvala, and we remain at your questions.
And thank you as well. Jury, questions? Yes.
Yes, thank you so much for your work and for the presentation. I have 2 questions. The first one is, how do you make sure that actually the database of laws that you have and that the model uses or the software uses stays up to date when in legal changes, I suppose maybe that's up to you to answer. And then how does that actually empower its users? Because I can understand for maybe whistleblowers or for maybe NGOs that work in the field of anti-corruption and all these things and pro-democracy, it would be very helpful as a tool, but do you also take into account the individual citizens, and how would this tool empower them?
Okay, great questions. First question is how it's updated according to changes of law, etc., etc. First of all, it's gonna automatically scrap all the laws, but on a rigorous basis, human has to control update of the laws. Is it once per month? Is it quarterly? Is it once per 2 weeks? Okay, is it a correct answer to your first question? And second question is how to engage the users.
Yeah, how does it empower the individual user, so regular citizens?
We believe it's, in some way, it's the power to the people, especially in some kind of countries where democracy is already eroded and where there is many cases of overstep of the authorities of the regime, etc., etc. So we believe it's going to be enhancing people to react on something which they assume, but not having enough knowledge or power to react.
I'm thinking it can measure particular legislation's constitutionality, measuring, for example, proposal, legislative proposal against the constitution of that particular state or the judgments of the European Court of Human Rights, or long term, it can be a tool for Venice Commission to measure whether legislation.
It was not our idea, but I fully understand that this mechanism can do also that kind of things. Our idea was, first of all, to measure and to identify if there is overstep of the authority of institution or of the person. But you are right, it can be also like that.
And this makes for a very punctual landing, 5 minutes to 9, and we are officially done with the Dragon's Den. Thank you all for the cooperation. I don't like playing bad cop. So what is going to happen now is that the jury is going to have the difficult task of deciding who did best in the final pitches and overall. And the rest of us can go outside, have some cocktails, and apparently I was just informed there's going to be salsa dancing. So everyone else can start enjoying their lives.
Sorry, one more point of order before people start leaving. We are asking for public vote. And there's a QR code. Forgive me, Teo, there's so much going on. No surprise. One thing we missed. So yes, if for 2 minutes on screen, there'll be the QR code for public vote, please. And then enjoy the salsa.
And do stay for the announcement of the winner. That's happening at 9:30.